Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Howdy.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, chat. Hello, everybody. I have Expired Milk and Existential Gamer here this evening. How are you two?
I am anticipating
Mhm.
today because one, I get to stream with you guys. Then also, in 1 hour, 3 hours of new Star Wars content drops.
Oh, it is a lucky day for you.
It is, and I'm stressed because I know it's gonna be a stressful watch, but it's gonna be so good.
Oh, I'm very happy for you. Um,
Ah.
how are you, Existential Gamer?
Oh, the same. Just the same.
Yeah, the same.
The same.
Yes.
I worked today and now I'm doing this.
Good.
And that's perfectly good.
Good, yeah. I worked today as well. It was a slow day for me. I had not a lot to do. And yeah, now I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yes, hello, welcome to everyone in the chat. Hello, hello, all of the friends. Nice to see
Yeah.
you all.
Thanks, Enlightened
Any
Female. That's very nice.
newcomers and lurkers, hello. Hello, sisters and children of women. Exactly. Hello, hello. So, yeah, I definitely thought we should actually kind of deep dive the UK Supreme Court ruling. We touched on it a little bit on the last stream I did with Nana and Rusty, but we're going to kind of deep dive this evening and learn what it's all about. And then I have a couple of Twitter things to look at as well. And yeah.
Yes, I hope this is the first domino of many.
Yeah, well, it would be
Yeah.
nice. I don't know about here in Canada, but
No, not the orange bag.
not the orange bag.
I mean, people could do it the normal way, like the UK, or they could do it the American way, where you elect a crazy guy
Yeah.
Yeah.
who will get rid of it anyway.
Tyrant
That's true.
wannabe.
Yeah, so the picture on screen, after the UK Supreme Court made their ruling public, J.K. Rowling tweeted this picture of herself. And the tweet, I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a legend. That's
I wonder
so
what
funny.
I wonder what she's drinking. I want to know.
No kidding. So iconic,
I want to be invited to her yacht party.
right?
Right? Can we please get invited?
Oh,
And it's going to be a cool yacht party, not sketchy or weird.
mm-hmm.
I will come in my Hogwarts robes.
Heck yeah.
Like, hey,
Heck yeah.
look at my
Okay,
nest in the IP.
so we're just going to take a look at this article from the BBC and then some tweets and stuff about trans rights. And yeah, see where we get.
Oh boy. Tweets.
So, yes. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust things here. Okay, so yeah, the Supreme Court backs biological definition of woman. Water is wet, fork found in kitchen.
Yo, chat, hysterical is crazy, Lee.
Wait, what?
Oh, I've heard that before. Hysterical. Yeah. Yeah. It's a great word.
That
Like the
is
word
good.
scrote, it's a great word.
Scrotes.
Hysterical. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks, Fax Machine, for telling me it looks like a Negroni because I want to look that recipe up and make one.
Mm. Okay, so whoa, this text. Okay, so judges at the UK Supreme Court have unanimously ruled that a woman is defined by biological sex under equalities law. I think that's better. Good opening statement there. What?
Unanimous. I'm surprised.
Again, it's
actually.
embarrassing that there had to be a Supreme
Right.
Court debate about this in the first place.
Right.
But here
Yeah.
we are.
And when I read the headline, I'm like, so you mean literally the only definition of woman?
Right.
because that's what it is.
So it marks the culmination of a long-running legal battle, which is also crazy. A legal battle to decide what a woman is.
A battle.
Like, it's no different than if they had a legal battle to decide what a mare versus a stallion is, or a hen versus a rooster. Like,
Yeah.
woman just means female adult. Mare means adult female horse. You know,
Right.
hen, adult female chicken. Like,
Yeah.
it's so crazy.
It's really that simple, everyone.
So the court sided with campaign group For Women Scotland, which brought a case against the Scottish government arguing that sex-based protections should only apply to people that are born female. Okay. Judge Lord Hodge said the ruling should not be seen as a triumph of one side over the other, and stressed that the law still gives protection against discrimination to transgender people. Does this look crazy? Why is it not?
Oh, there we go.
Now it's better?
Yeah, it was cut off.
Yeah, I don't know why it was like that. Anyway.
It's better now. It got better.
It got better. Stop. Okay. The Scottish government argued in court that transgender people with a gender recognition certificate are entitled to the same sex-based protections as biological women. The only kind of woman. The Supreme Court was asked to decide on the proper interpretation of the 2010 Equality Act, which applies across Britain. Lord Hodge said the central question was how the words woman and sex are defined in the legislation. Perhaps may I suggest a dictionary? Like, like what else why do you need to to discuss how they're defined?
For
And
years.
now that I see that this is in direct response to a 2010 law, I do kind of wonder in other similar countries like US, Canada, Australia, if a similar thing has already happened or if we're just rolling with it as is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. He told the court the unanimous decision of this court is that the terms woman and sex in the Equality Act 2010 refer to a biological woman and biological sex. Like, I feel crazy reading these sentences.
Yeah. I know.
And I do wonder how this will all appear in the history books 50 years from now.
Right? Yeah. Like law students, 50 years from now, like being like, what the fuck?
Like, what? What a crazy time.
Especially 100 years from now.
100 years from now, yeah.
It's going to look like archaic nonsense.
So we counsel against reading this judgment as a triumph of one or more groups in our society at the expense of another. It is not. He added that the legislation gives transgender people protection not only against discrimination through the protected characteristic of gender reassignment, but also against direct discrimination, indirect discrimination, and harassment in substance in their acquired gender. You can't acquire a gender.
No.
I saw one at Walmart yesterday.
Woman is when pink.
Yes. And makeup and skirts.
Makeup. Skirt goes spinny.
That's all it takes.
Campaigners who brought the case against the Scottish government hugged each other and punched the air as they left the courtroom, with several of them in tears. The Equality Act provides protection against discrimination on the basis of various characteristics, including sex and gender reassignment. Judges at the Supreme Court in London were asked to rule on what the law means by sex. Imagine being a judge and you're being asked to rule on what the word sex means. Like, this is crazy making.
Plus, like 10, 15 years ago, the transgender,
this would have never been.
They recognized that there was a sex But
Oh,
then they
yeah.
started to say the whole like, no, I was always a woman. I was, born a woman. And they started to be like,
Mhm.
well, what about intersex people? What about this or that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
goalposts kept moving.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Because I remember when they would always be like, well, there's a difference between sex and gender.
Yeah.
Sex is what you're
Gender is
born
between your
with.
ears and sex is between your legs.
Right. But eventually that's not validating enough. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Very crazy.
hmm And here we are.
And here we are. Um So, judges at the Supreme Court were asked to rule on what the law means by sex, whether it means biological sex or legal certificated sex, as defined by the 2004 Gender Recognition Act. The Scottish government argued the 2004 legislation was clear that obtaining a GRC amounts to a change of sex for all purposes. Like, literally, no, a piece of paper does not change your sex for all purposes.
Yeah. No. The only way I can see this being like an okay compromise is because compared to self ID, where you can just go tell them that you're a woman, even though you're a bearded
Mhm.
man named Brad and do nothing, just
Yeah.
change everything on your documentation. At least here they'll have a trail of it,
Yeah.
one would assume. So it's not like they can disappear into a new identity.
Yeah.
Not that it changes their sex, though. That's stupid.
Mm.
For women, Scotland argued for a common sense interpretation of the words man and woman, telling the court that sex is immutable biological state. No duh.
Yep. They don't like that word immutable, though.
No.
They don't like to think that all their efforts are to change something immutable.
Hmm. So, speaking outside the Supreme Court following the ruling, For Women Scotland co founder Susan Smith said, "Today, the judges have said what we always believed to be the case, that women are protected by their biological sex. Sex is real, and women can now feel safe that services and spaces designated for women are for women, and we are enormously grateful to the Supreme Court for this ruling." First Minister John Swinney said the Scottish government accepted the judgment. He posted on social media, "The ruling gives clarity between two relevant pieces of legislation passed at Westminster. We will now engage on the implications of the ruling." Swinney added, "Protecting the rights of all will underpin our actions." Um, a Scottish government spokesperson insisted ministers had acted in good faith during the legal proceedings and noted that the Equality and Human Rights Commission was updating its guidance in response to the judgment. A UK government spokesperson said the ruling would bring clarity and confidence for women and service providers such as hospitals, refuges, and sports clubs. Single sex spaces are protected in law and will always be protected by this government, the spokesman added. So I think, yeah, there was always a little bit of like the clarity piece here. Um, Unsure of who could or couldn't be considered a woman for
Mhm.
these kinds of reasons. And now it's very clear. I mean,
Yeah.
it should always have been very clear, but you know.
Yeah.
Single sex spaces, I read that. Okay, conservative leader. I need it. Yeah. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch described the ruling as a victory for all of the women who faced personal abuse or lost their jobs for stating the obvious. She added, "It's important to be reminded the court strongly and clearly reaffirmed the Equality Act protects all trans people against discrimination based on gender reassignment and will continue to do so."
Right. And that's where it always should have stayed.
Right.
Because, like we always say here, like nobody is for someone seeing a transgender person and then being like, oh, you can't have housing, you can't have this
Right.
job or whatever. Like, that's not what anybody is saying.
No, all people, an actual human right is a life free of violence and harassment and discrimination,
Right.
equal access to education, housing, employment,
hmm
etc. Like, I don't think, and even the most turfiest of turfs would ever suggest that trans identified people don't deserve those things.
Yeah, no.
So, Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling posted on social media, "It took 3 extraordinary, tenacious Scottish women with an army behind them to get this case heard by the Supreme Court. And in winning, they've protected the rights of women and girls across the UK." But Scottish Green MSP, so member of Scottish Parliament, I guess, Maggie Chapman, a prominent campaigner for trans rights, said, "This is a deeply concerning ruling for human rights and a huge blow to some of the most marginalized people in our society."
How though? I want her to detail how that's the case.
Yeah, like when you're talking about human rights, like which human rights are being violated here?
Right. And if
None.
no, and if some dude can just self ID into a woman's shelter, he's violating all the rights of the women staying there.
Yeah.
But nobody cares about them. Well, apparently Scotland does. Good
Yeah.
on them. But until then, men could just do whatever they wanted as far as women's spaces were concerned.
Mhm. It all centers around say, hey, you're free to identify and name yourself and dress however you would like. However, the rest of us are not obligated to go along with it.
Right.
Mhm.
And women aren't going to be losing their jobs anymore for just saying that a woman is a woman, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, as
Yeah.
Nana says, they're literally protected against anything that could happen. Like, what else do they want?
Right.
Because they don't want protections. They want
Access.
access and to be able to, like, decimate everyone else.
Right. Especially women, because a lot of these people are misogynists.
Yes.
Nothing makes them feel better than to get a rape shelter like closed or to
Uh-huh.
get women fired from their jobs. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Women aren't human. I mean, that's old news, right?
Mhm.
And if they want services for specifically transgender people, they can start their own charities and
Right. And
shelters and all that.
But
and
they don't
who
want
among
that.
us wouldn't support that? Like, go
I
for it. Like,
would.
of course.
Yeah, why
Same.
not? Right. Just male people don't belong where female people are if that's not what the female people want. And that's it.
Mhm. Any thoughts, expired milk?
I don't know. I agree with all that. I feel like I saw a headline recently about some sort of trans kids sports league. I'm like, great, go
Yeah.
do that.
Great.
And people are like, yeah, like see the turfs. I'm like, no, actually, that's what I was wanting
Right.
the whole
Yeah,
time.
like we're not these evil monsters with like fangs dripping in blood hiding in the corner. Like, yeah,
No.
I'm down for like a trans sports league. I'm down for a trans shelter. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm down for a third gender neutral bathroom in all public spaces.
Right. And
Like, absolutely.
let's not forget that TERFs usually do say, how about some third spaces? And they always say, no.
No.
No, because not allowing me into your space is a human rights violation.
Uh-huh.
Right. So it's not about getting actual help or services
Yeah.
to the trans rights activists. It's
Oh
not.
my god, Nana. 1 million
Yeah.
crowdfunders for them to get fake titties. 0 crowdfunders for their own shelters.
Yeah.
Literally.
Truer words have never been spoken.
Hey, maybe that's the female experience that they want.
Ugh.
So she continues, it could remove important protections and will leave many trans people and their loved ones deeply anxious and worried about how their lives will be affected and about what will come next. No one gives a fuck about anxious and worried women when a man enters the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like,
Nope.
In
what
fact,
are
if
they
a woman,
talking about also?
and they're
Yeah.
more likely to say if a woman is anxious or worried by a man in her space, then maybe she should get therapy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and maybe
Who
she should
hurt
get
you?
over it because not all
Right.
men. Am I right?
Ugh.
Right. And they're gaslighting her like that's actually not a man though. She never was a man. Like, okay.
Mhm.
And that's why like expired milk, like how you said how though, or was it you, Radical? That that previous sentence, like be specific. What exactly are you talking about? They're using all
Right.
these emotionally charged words, but they're not being specific as to what anyone's losing.
Right. And how their lives will be affected and why they'll be so anxious. Like, anxious
Right.
of what?
Yeah. How?
Of not being
What?
able to be like on the same, because in the UK, like, I think the American and Canadian hospitals, like, you're usually in a room with one or two other patients or a private room. But I know in a lot of UK, it's like a open concept room where there might be 12 or 20 beds,
Yeah.
right? And like, of course, so when you've got a vulnerable woman in one of these hospital wards, she's very sick, sick enough to be hospitalized, and then there's male patients who say that they're women, and they're like, no, fuck that. Like,
Yeah.
hospital wards, change rooms, crisis shelters, like, no, get the fuck out.
Hmm.
Ugh. So, For Women Scotland have had warned that if the court sided with the Scottish government, it would have implications for the running of single sex spaces and services such as hospital wards, prisons, refugees, and support groups. Transgender people warned the case could erode the protections they have against discrimination in their reassigned gender. Okay, I feel like we're getting nowhere because sentence by sentence I have a comment. But um so erode the protections they have against discrimination. But you're not being discriminated against by not being permitted in a space that isn't for you.
Right.
They're just being told
By the way,
no
I
by
think
women.
right.
Yeah.
Does anybody else here? I think Radical, you have some like echoing on your
Feedback.
mic.
I'm hearing it too. I don't know why I'm using headphones and a microphone.
I don't
Oh, am
hear
I
it now.
echoing? Test. Hello.
No,
Hello?
no, you're good.
Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm listening to see if I can hear. I don't hear it anymore, but I did before.
Yeah, I
So.
did too.
Hmm.
All good, all good. But yeah, like, I just don't understand, especially the sentence here, like, erode the protections they have against discrimination. Like, it's not discrimination to say this is not the room, the space, the ward, the sport for
Right.
you. That's not discrimination.
Right. No.
Um, yeah, drives me crazy. Okay. Scottish trans manager Vic Valentine, Scottish trans manager
Like
Is
just
it
a
is the
generic
place.
picture. Like what?
followed
Maybe the
by
the
word
organization is called
name?
Scottish Trans. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So Scottish Trans, maybe it should have an apostrophe there.
Why do
Scottish
they
Trans
always have
is,
like some sort of stage name?
I know, Vic
Vic
Valentine,
Valentine.
Cat Black.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they are kind of stage names if you
well,
think about
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
totally. So, Scottish trans manager Vic Valentine said the organization was shocked by the court ruling, arguing that it reverses 20 years of understanding on how the law recognizes trans men and women with gender recognition certificates.
But they just said the ones with certificates would be considered to be the opposite, the sex that they transition into, right? Like what?
Yeah, they'll still get certain protections, but also, like, this sentence here, like, the law can be revised. Like, yeah, maybe the 20 years ago, the law said that this was applicable, and now it's been amended. That happens all the time. Laws develop, they change, they become amended, revised, etc. That's
Yeah.
not anything new.
And then the
Um,
next sentence is just nonsensical.
this judgment seems to suggest that there will be times where trans people can be excluded from both men's and women's spaces and
No.
services.
What
Again,
were you
elaborate.
elaborate?
What are you
And
talking about?
everybody has a sex. What's your sex?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that is, that's the space you belong in. What do you
Yeah.
mean? Like, are you saying that we're going to say, oh, if you're non binary, you belong in neither? Because that's stupid.
And again, they never elaborate. What are you talking about? Provide an example.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I know I've heard some of the non-binary crowd being like, I was at the mall and there was no third restroom, so I just had to pee myself. I'm like, No,
What?
you didn't actually.
Oh, that's
Right.
such a lie. Like they did not piss their pants in the mall.
Uh-huh.
I just had
It's
to.
like you just chose
No,
to go into
just
the
because.
bathroom.
And that's the same as like when they say things like oh my god, what am I trying to say? Specifically around the bathrooms, it's like, well, I have to be able to pee. We just want to pee. Okay, well, there is the men's room available to you. You are welcome to pee. Go.
Yep.
What do you expect me to
Also,
do? Never pee? Like, no, go in the men's
also,
room. Go, go, go.
we women, a lot of women, especially online, uh, we were like, well, I guess they just want to pee until they started posting fucking selfies of their chubs in the women's restroom
Right.
and bullshit like that.
Or posting pictures of them digging out used tampons from the little
Right.
like metal sanitary bag holders.
Yeah.
Like, no, get fucked.
Yeah. Get the fuck out then. You're not just here to pee. Like, stop lying.
It is hard to understand where we would then be expected to go. Like,
Wait, are they still talking about peeing? No.
yes.
Yeah. Well,
It's hard to understand where we would then be expected to go or how this decision is compatible with a society that is fair and equal for everybody. It's not fair and equal for women when you're allowing men in the fucking prison cell with them.
right.
Like, are you
Exactly.
for real right now? What are you talking about?
Well, don't forget, women should just be fine with anything and everything,
Right.
or else it's rude.
If it makes
Yes.
a man's pee-pee hard, then he should be allowed to do it.
It's the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, enough women were upset. This went to the freaking Supreme
Supreme
Court.
Court, yeah.
So you can't just be like, oh, most people are totally fine with it. Most people are not totally fine with this.
No. The case follows years of heated debate over transgender and women's rights, including controversy over transgender rapist Isla Bryson initially being put in a women's prison. Like how fucked in the head do you have to be to think that person with penis who has been charged and found guilty of the crime of raping someone with that penis should then go into prison cells with the victims, like with women who were the same as his victims?
Yeah.
Like I I'm
Right.
speechless.
Nope, the response is we'll just provide condoms to prisons.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mm.
And let him keep raping. He did it on
I
the outside.
mean,
Might as well let him keep doing it on the inside.
right. I mean, what are those women except just damaged sponges for the criminal male population anyway, right? Who cares
Yeah.
about those people?
Okay. And an ongoing employment tribunal involving a female NHS Fife nurse who objected to a transgender doctor using a woman's change room. NHS Fife said it would carefully consider the court's judgment. Yeah, I can think of like so few things worse than like being a nurse, like the actual heroes in like every medical setting, coming off of her 12-hour shift, exhausted, sore, tired, trying to get changed, and then in walks a man.
Right.
Like,
Right.
God.
And I'd be very interested to hear that nurse's story.
Oh yeah, she. What is her name?
Because a lot of times these guys are not just going in super discreet and, not even, you can't even notice that he's in there because he's so discreet. It's not usually like that.
Yeah, the nurse in this case, her name is Sandy Peggy. So if anyone cares to look her up, you can. I'm pretty sure the doctor in question too, he is trans, obviously, and I'm pretty sure he's like so many of them do. He's becoming his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Skin walking.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the judges ruled that interpreting sex as certificated rather than biological would cut across the definitions of man and woman and thus the protected characteristic of sex in an incoherent way. Finally, some sanity. Does somebody have a speaker, one of you?
No.
I'm hearing
Speaker?
my own feedback again. Yeah,
No.
weird.
Oh, I am using not headphones. I'm just talking at my laptop.
Oh, maybe that's why there's sometimes feedback. Okay, no worries. Okay, they said a certified definition of sex would weaken protection for lesbians, citing the example of lesbian-only spaces and associations, as it would mean that a trans woman who was attracted to women would be classed as a lesbian. Ugh. The ruling found the biological interpretation of sex was also required for single-sex spaces to function coherently. It cited changing rooms, hostels, and hostels in this case, I know in the UK, it is referring to shelters, like homeless shelters, medical services, and single-sex higher education institutions. The judges noted similar confusion and impracticability had arisen in relation to the single-sex associations and charities, women's sport, public sector equality, and the armed forces. The judges added, the practical problems that arise under a certificated sex approach are clear indicators that this interpretation is not correct. Thank you, judges. Always this fucking slogan.
Yeah.
Gender reassignment is a protected characteristic in law, making it is illegal to what the hell? What is that? Making it illegal to discriminate against someone on the basis they are transgender. However, single-sex spaces can exclude people with GRCs if it is proportionate to do so. Dr. Nick McCarroll, senior law lecturer at Glasgow Caledonian University, said the ruling means a transgender woman with a GRC who is excluded from a single-sex space would be unable to argue she is being discriminated against as a woman. Good, because he is not a woman. He also said the ruling implied that workplaces would need to provide separate spaces for people on the basis of biological sex. Also good. But the law lecturer said arguments over access to single-sex spaces would not be settled by this court case. He told the BBC, it doesn't mean everything overnight is going to change in terms of stopping trans people from accessing services. It will depend on what providers think the new definition will mean for them. Dr. McCarroll said the judgment does not immediately change anything for the rules on transgender participation in women's sport, but it might prompt a reassessment of rules. The legal dispute began in 2018 when the Scottish Parliament passed a bill designed to ensure gender balance on public sector boards. For Women Scotland complained that ministers had included transgender people as part of the quotas in that law. So, meaning if you have like a public sector board of 4 men and 4 trans women, they would consider that equally gender balanced.
Ugh.
When they're all men.
Yeah, that's what the tech companies are doing now too.
Yes.
At least here, they're just basically like hiring trans women and being like, "Yep, we've got gender diversity." And they get to keep the icky girls out of their treehouse.
Right. No girls allowed. The issue has been contested several times in the Scottish courts. Holyrood ministers won the most recent case in Scotland, with Judge Lady Haldane ruling in 2022 that the definition of sex was not limited to biological or birth sex. Okay.
Wow.
Scottish Parliament passed reforms that year that would have made it easier for someone to change their legally recognized sex. The move was blocked by the UK government and has since been dropped by Holyrood ministers. So that's it. That's the ruling.
Good.
Sanity reigns for once.
For once.
Yeah.
It would be nice to get some sanity in these parts as well.
Yeah. I only wish that America could have gotten sanity without our swift,
Yeah.
sharp turn into Christian nationalism and
Yeah.
Trump.
That's like here in Alberta, we have a very conservative government. Alberta has elected the Conservatives for over 50 years. And I think in February of 2024, yes, um, our provincial government announced some legislation that would quote unquote discriminate based on biological sex. And so, like, saying, like, males cannot be in women and girls sports and that kind of thing. And it's like, why? But of course, yeah, it has to come at the hands of like insane conservatives. Our conservative government here are like, we call them Maple MAGAs
Mhm.
because they're like, yeah, Trump light.
Yeah.
Ugh. Not any just like sane, normal people. No, can't have that.
No, that's just like us and people like us.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that Florida governor's crazy name? That guy?
Is that
Rubio?
DeSantos?
no
Still
DeSant
dissent.
yeah, DeSantos.
Like he introduced some like anti-trans legislation and stuff too, and it's like, just not, can't we have a normal person who is on our side? No, like
Yeah,
God.
people are doing it based on like Christian values and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not why that's not why I'm against it. So,
Yeah.
nothing to do with like traditional Bible
Mm-hmm.
values or whatnot. Yeah, Rosie, it sure has.
Yeah. Can Tim's currently get in the women's restroom in Canada and other areas designated for women? Yes, I would assume. Um, I personally have not encountered that, but I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they can. Um, I've never encountered it, but I hope that if I did encounter a Tim in the women's room, west restroom or whatever, I hope and I think I would say something.
Yeah, I guess it would depend.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, I wanted to look at some a Twitter thread. It's not really directly about this per se, but it's about the whole trans rights or human rights thing.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
let's do it. I love me some messy Twitter drama.
yes.
Woohoo!
Okay, so I don't know who this person is, but she tweeted a great thread, so I thought we could look at that. So Stephanie Wynn, trans rights or human rights? Really? Let's examine. The right to self-diagnose and have doctors and therapists agree with you? No one else has this right. The
Hmm.
right to have cosmetic surgeries paid for with taxpayer money or health insurance? No one else has this right.
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got eye surgery so I can freaking see,
Mm-hmm.
and that was considered cosmetic.
Yeah.
So I had to pay for the whole thing out of pocket. I have insurance.
Dang.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but they consider it like if you can wear Coke bottle glasses, they don't want to pay for anything like,
Right.
quality of life cosmetic quote unquote surgeries. They won't pay for it.
Yeah. I know here in Alberta, breast implants for Tim's are covered because we have universal health care. Breast implants for Tim's are covered. They're not covered for cis women, and
Yeah.
breast reductions are you really have to fight for them to
Mhm.
be covered. But breast implants for Tim's are covered.
Well, don't you know
Yeah.
it's necessary for them? Because if they don't get them, they're going to kill themselves.
But what about the cis women who want tiggle bitties?
Yeah, I'm
They
in
should
it.
just talk to a therapist.
Like,
Okay,
listen,
right.
I need big old boobies, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I need to affirm my gender. I have an A cup, so I need to have this paid for me right now. I'm just
Yeah.
joking. I
So
don't want it.
yes, I need to have scaffolding for my chest.
Yes, I want to have a little
A
wheelie
shelf.
thing. Yeah. I want it to them to be so big. I need a little scooter for them.
Like that. What was that? that one teacher, I think, with like the giant
Yeah, in
Oh,
Canada. His
prostitute.
name was Matt something.
he was wearing like fetish falsies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, maybe I should game the system here and say that I'm a female trans woman and I need
Oh yeah,
breast implants.
the bio trans woman.
Yeah.
There was a thread about that on Twitter
Yes.
a while ago. Her name's Kikomi.
Kakomi. That's funny.
What they say is
Okay.
like, oh, when I was a kid, I was a tomboy, but now I'm frilly, so I have transed into myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's see what other rights. The right to choose who you compete against in your sports of choice, rather than to have categories and opponents determined for you by more objective sources designed to organize and moderate according to fairness. No one else has that right.
Hmm.
The right to control how others view, think of, speak of, and include or exclude you. No one else has this right. The right to stop people from speaking, ban them from media, get them fired, or halt public events by accusing people of hate speech against a minority group you have not been born into but have made up and opted into by your own free will. No one else has this right.
Yep.
The right to decide that, in addition to the special rights you demand for your group alone, you also get to erode the boundaries others have erected around their protected class groups as well, and determine that you belong in those groups. No one else has this right. The right to demand that people like and speak well of you, no matter how obnoxious your personality or behaviors may be, and accuse them of bigotry if they dislike you or disagree with you in any way. No one else has this right.
Hmm.
The right to indoctrinate other people's children into your religion. No one else has this right. The right to consider behavior that would otherwise be considered overtly sexual, adult, and private, and insist that it be publicly celebrated and modeled in front of children. No one else has this right. The right to infringe upon other people's cultural and religious social norms and boundaries that protect minority and immigrant groups' sense of modesty, sanctity, purity, and safety according to their own cultural traditions. No one else has this right. Yeah, like freaking um in Canada, in Quebec, it is illegal to be in a public sector employment position and outwardly display any religious values. So, like, you cannot be a teacher in the public school system or somebody who works in city hall or whatever, and wear a crucifix necklace or a hijab or whatever,
Mm.
etc. Um, so, um, what am I getting at here? So, yeah, we can't. What am I trying to get at here as far as imposing upon other people's religious values and stuff? Um, if this law in Quebec is like highly contested because they say that it is Islamophobic or anti-Christian or whatever the fuck, and people rally against that like crazy. But if like trans people want to say that they deserve to be in the same space as a Muslim woman who is in her hijab, that's Islamophobic, or that's not Islamophobic to do that. But
Right.
like they are allowed to impose upon other people's religious sensibilities, but no one else can.
Mhm.
And then finally, the right to insist that language evolve not in its normal fashion, gradual shifts and colloquialisms over time, but all at once, upon demand, no matter how counterintuitive, to impose onto others your desired changes in how they use language. No one else has this right.
Now, let's see what kind of amazing responses that we get.
Well, this one is hidden because I've apparently blocked the author, so
Oh,
who knows who it is. Um,
I like the responses though.
Yeah, presents concrete evidence of legislation happening in the world. Touch grass. TRAs are so fucking pathetic. Oh, it must have been a TRA then.
Yep.
TRAs are so fucking pathetic. Please read the post and provide evidence to defend your argument unless you can't.
Mm.
The right to erase history and demand people lie about the past.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
How they like retroactively trans all kinds of historical figures, like Joan of Arc.
Not only that, but like themselves, right? Like they're erasing their birth sex on their birth records
Yeah.
and skewing statistics now to say that,
Right.
you know, more women were born than men or whatever the fuck.
Yep. And claiming that loads of trans people have always existed, but they've been like,
Yep.
you know, I can tell you right now, I was alive in the 80s and 90s, and this was not a thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The transsexual, like there were transsexuals, but they were a very small, tiny minority of the population. And how we understand the whole trans movement did not exist. It wasn't like
not even close.
no,
It didn't even exist in 2010.
no, it's not a thing. Like a bunch of kids I graduated high school with ended up coming out as gay years later, like on Facebook, but literally nobody is like trans or whatever.
No. Remember the trans guy who threatened to kick the convenience store clerk's ass because he didn't
Oh
call
yeah,
him ma'am?
the ma'am guy.
It's ma'am.
He's a meme now.
Mm-hmm. A ma'am meme.
A meme.
Just recycled homophobia.
No, it has nothing to do with homophobia.
Yeah. So then this person says, "Girl, when were homosexuals ever getting government-funded marriages? We just got the right to get married, and we maybe won't even get to have that anymore. Meanwhile, y'all are getting silicone tits with tax dollars."
Yeah.
Oh boy. Women who lose their breasts can access publicly funded breast reconstruction.
Can they
Okay,
though?
that's not a Tim though. It's appropriate medical care for women who did not develop breasts, as well as women who have lost theirs. But again, that's women, not men.
Right. And I would even say, like, is that really like, can you get reconstructive breast surgery like for totally free on the
Yeah.
public
Well,
dime?
you know what also I think about is when women have breast cancer and they have to have a mastectomy or a double mastectomy. And
Yeah.
so often their surgeries are quite sloppily done. Their scars are really brutal. They've got like what they call like dog ears in their
Yeah.
scars. But then when it's an optional or an opt in mastectomy, i.e., a trans person, the surgeries are done with such care and made to really sculpt the chest and make sure the scars are very minimal at best. And like,
Well, I've seen some surgery
oh, I know I've
pictures,
seen some bad ones.
Yeah.
and
And
that
and
is
I
not always the
also
case.
yeah, I also feel like the whole the trans version of the breast removal, the like one neat scar across each one has become its own sort of aesthetic
Mm,
among the
Yeah,
youth that is desired.
yeah, that's true.
They put them in the Sims. You can give them to your Sims now.
Really?
God.
Yep.
Yeah. I just re-downloaded The Sims 2 the other day because I was like, you know what?
Oh, yeah, they
That
didn't
game
have
was
that
fun. Let,
in
let
the
me try it
Sims 2.
again.
Yeah,
And
that was back when things were sane. That game came out.
yes, I remember that I like building the houses more than I like playing the game.
I never got into The Sims. I was a roller coaster tycoon gal.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
had re-downloaded that last year, but I got as far as I could on the levels, and now I'm stuck, as I often get in games.
I haven't played in so long. Oh, wait, what? Apparently, some TIFFs are now requesting certain kinds of scars post surgery.
Oh
Like
no.
what? Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen some of those surgeries too where they don't. It's it always looks bad. I think some of the like actual mastectomies they can look pretty quote unquote good or convincing or whatever. But I have seen some surgeries where they'll make an incision along the areola and just liposuction
Ooh.
out the fat
Ouch.
and leave it intact, and then it's just like a deflated like balloon sack.
Oh.
And I'm like, why was this the option you went for? It looks
They probably
crazy.
do that though, because if they're gonna get implants later, they've got the skin. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not a
Uh,
surgeon, but they can just fill it back up. That's the logical conclusion, maybe.
oh,
I don't know, but it seems pretty brutal. My aunt actually is going through breast cancer right now.
oh,
Yeah, she's looking at getting a mastectomy, at least for one side. Luckily, hers it isn't metastasized or anything, and she's doing rounds of chemo, and it's very localized. But yeah, so she might have to go through this horrific thing.
ugh. I feel like if I had breast cancer, or you can get that test to see if you've got the gene that says whether you might or might not develop it.
Hmm.
Oh, I know
For me
that.
personally, I think I would just be like, yeet, chop it.
Yeah, yeah. My aunt did get that genetic testing, and according to her, there's no genetic markers for her.
Is there
So
a certain age they do that at?
no, they
Well, I
do it.
think you go ahead.
Oh, they did it because she got diagnosed.
Yeah, and I think also like you have to come from like a family history, like a pretty extreme history to even consider the testing. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's good news for me, I guess, and all the relatives. Unless I'm different though. I still have my mom's side to consider, but because she's a paternal aunt, so but she didn't have any glaring genetic predisposition toward it.
right.
So yeah,
Yeah, my grandmother, my maternal grandmother's, both of her sisters had breast cancer, but it hadn't trickled down any further. Which is
I mean, it can be caused by other
oh,
things.
of course, yeah.
Yeah,
Like the plastic in the air.
yeah,
Ooh,
environmental factors.
I read a thing the other day that said they did a study on microplastics in, and like pretty much like everyone has microplastics in their actual brains.
Oh,
But I also read on the same study, I don't remember what the sample size was, but it was pretty significant. And 100% of the men sampled had microplastic in their semen.
ooh,
100%.
wow.
That's crazy.
You're just
Hey, that's another argument I can use.
Yeah.
yeah, just ejaculating plastics.
Good times. Oh, yeah, here it is. Microplastics found in every human semen sample tested in study. The pollutants were found in all testicle samples.
Ooh.
Oh, that's crazy. Um, how did we get here? With microplastics in our brains.
We were talking about cancer. I mentioned that plastic in the air, and then you said, "Ah, yes, plastic and semen." That's how we got here.
Oh. But also, like, how did humans get here too? Like that there's literal plastic in our brains.
Well, you see, the corporations
Yeah,
back in
capitalism
the
got us here.
60s.
Yeah.
Comrade Scar. R.I.P. Come rotten plastic.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Good times. Expired milk, what Star Wars stuff is dropping this evening?
It's Andor season 2.
I have not even heard of season 1.
Yeah, well, Andor, he had a movie back in 2016 called Rogue One. It's
Oh, I
about
know that
how
one.
it's
That
about
was a
how
good
the
movie.
rebels got the plans to the Death Star. So
I
the
loved that movie.
series starts 5 years before that, season 1 covers how he became a rebel in the first place, and now season 2 will show his journey as a Rebel Alliance member.
Who plays? Is it Andor? Who plays him?
Yeah, it's Diego Luna.
Oh, he's reprised the role.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know. And it's like a whole show?
Yes, and it is
Aw.
quite possibly the best Star Wars that exists.
Oh, maybe I should watch it because I really liked that movie.
Yeah, it's excellent. The writing is some of the best I have ever encountered in my life.
Dang.
In fact, the writing is so good that the Star Wars official channel took, because season 1 it was known for its monologues.
Mm-hmm.
So because Nana,
Gotta get
Nana,
schooled, Nana.
Nana also said something that I thought was really funny. People often think I'm younger than I am, and I say thanks. It's all the microplastics in my blood.
yeah, the monologues are so good that they post them on the official Star Wars YouTube channel. I'm like, yay,
Oh.
look, all these young actors, they can use this as their audition piece.
And is it on Disney Plus?
Yep.
Nice.
And starting today for the next 4 weeks, every two, because there's like different arcs, so there's 3 episodes in an arc. So
Okay.
first season they just did 1 episode a week, and it was nice that we got to enjoy it for 12 weeks, but also it was kind of like being allowed to watch 1/3 of a movie and then it ends. So like, wait, what? I have to wait another week. But now they're releasing 3 episodes a week. So basically, for the next 4 weeks, we get a brand new Star Wars film every Tuesday.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yes, I'm.
I loved when Diego Luna was on the Ellen DeGeneres show talking about Rogue One, and it was so cute. He said, "Can you believe it? Me, a Mexican in Star Wars?" And I was like, "Oh, like I mean, people talk about how hokey like representation matters can be, but like it's so true." He was like so happy.
Oh wait, Nana, you might hate Star Wars, but the Star Wars convention actually wrapped up a couple days ago in Tokyo.
Oh, well,
You could
good
have
for Nena. She
gone.
doesn't live in Tokyo.
Oh, okay. You could have traveled a shorter distance than I.
I won't dox your location though, Nena, but it's not Tokyo.
But they announced the next one. It's going to be in LA in 2027. I still can't go because the tickets are probably going to go on sale next month and they'll be sold out in 2 seconds. And I have no idea where I'm going to be in 2 years. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
Wait, the tickets go on sale now for something happening 2 years in the future?
Yeah, they usually do it pretty far in advance.
Holy.
Yeah, so I said the only way I'm ever gonna get to a Star Wars convention is if I completely change careers or if I get hired to work at the Star Wars convention. So I'm going for plan B. I've been going for plan B for quite some time. It has not worked out yet, but I have faith that someday Lucasfilm will recognize me and
Everyone
invite me
cross
to
your
help run
fingers
their stuff.
for expired milk.
Yeah.
There might be a show at a convention that you would have the experience to run, right? Maybe.
And from what I hear, Star Wars conventions are really disorganized. So I said, look,
Me
sub me in,
too.
coach. I can fix it.
Management is
Put me in, coach.
exactly. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but if anyone has thoughts about overthrowing the government, you should really watch Andor because it really is a step-by-step guide.
You Americans might need that soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, even my parents were talking to me about it. They said, yeah, like all these big papers are covering season 2, and there's all these things on the news. Apparently, it's really good. And they say, oh, yeah, you should really watch this because it's good, but it might be disturbing to some viewers because it's very similar to the modern day news cycle.
Oh boy.
Said, yeah.
Oh, Life
Yeah.
Sucks has a hack for you, expired milk. Just identify as trans and sail off yourself without free tickets to the Star Wars convention.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go do it.
Life hack.
Life hack. And if that doesn't work, just tell them you're going to wee yourself.
Yeah, I'll just stand out front and let it loose.
Oh my god.
Lee is asking if I would rather go as a convention as Admiral Dalla or Mara Jade. Definitely Admiral Dalla. I think Mara Jade would attract too many creeps.
Yeah.
No offense, Mara. She's
I have to
great.
look at pictures of these people. I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Mary Jade.
Mara
Oh wow,
Jade
Foxy.
is yes, in
But she's
Legends
homely, right?
timeline, she was like Luke Skywalker's love interest.
Oh.
Yeah, she's from the books.
Yeah, she's
Oh
from the book.
man, I am such a sucker for a redhead.
Of course she's a redhead. That's so fantasy tropey. I love that.
But no, for real, like my type has always been like strawberry blonde / redheady type women. Like all of my crushes as a kid, like Michelle Pfeiffer as Selena Kyle.
Oh, I
Ugh.
love that. I love
Oh.
her. I love that movie. It's so good.
And then I also had big crush when I was really little on Gina Davis because she played the mom in Stuart Little. And she has red hair. Oh my god.
If I'm not mistaken, Admiral Dalla is also a ginger. There's lots of gingers running around in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, I think actually Gina Davis also went red for A League of Their Own.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's, I think, kind of naturally ready.
Yeah. I know a lot of her roles have her as a brunette.
Yeah, I've always had crushes on like Julia Roberts, gingery, redheady. And this is so weird, but my 2 serious relationships were gingery women as well. I have a type. What can I say?
Yeah. I don't know what my type. I don't know if I have a type. I don't know. That's a hard question.
Nana, my type is my beautiful wife and also ladies who are ripped.
Yes.
Well, as essential, you can find out your type probably by taking a BuzzFeed quiz.
Oh.
Probably.
Yeah. There's a quiz for everything these days. You have a question, someone has made a quiz. So you can find out.
BuzzFeed quizzes. Oh yeah, Capricorn. Over it is shutting down. I say, see ya.
Yeah, we saw that announcement.
Yeah.
Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
Yeah, literally. I have had a problem with Over It for a long time, years at this point, because they don't care for actually radical feminist content. They only care for anti-trans content. And I have routinely had my posts deleted on Over It, even though I post in the appropriate circle for the topic that I am posting about. I get deleted for being off topic all the time because it's not just like trans stuff, it's like feminist stuff or radically feminist stuff. And I get deleted all the time, so I gave up. And I also know of another woman whose radical feminist posts and ideas were constantly deleted as well. So
yeah,
bye.
I still think that they had it out for you personally.
I mean,
you're high profile.
I don't want to be paranoid and weird,
but it seemed like they always had their finger hovering over the delete button every time you posted, though. Like,
oh yeah, if I would post something in the morning and then by the time I got home from work in the afternoon and I like went onto Over It, I'd get a notification that it had been deleted.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Seems pretty damn personal to me.
All the freaking time. I never had posts go through on there.
Mm-hmm. Somebody must be watching your account.
Yes. Oh, yeah, Capricorn. I read that today as well, Radical. I went through a thread discussing makeup. Yeah, they get mad about the makeup stuff.
It's so exhausting.
It really shocks me. Like,
they're real big mad about it.
Like, I mean, I feel like it wasn't such a hot topic back in the 90s and 2000s. Like,
No.
I feel like you could find women that would be like, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say makeup is feminist. I mean, obviously it's social conformity and a tool of the patriarchy.
I
Like,
think there was the whole 2000s movement of like girl boss, whatever you choose is a feminist choice.
yeah, that did rise
It,
up in the
and that rotted
2000s.
everyone's brains.
Yep. And they do like the mental gymnastics to like turn makeup around into being feminist.
Yeah, and not even just makeup, but like
Yeah.
all kinds of bad choices that uplift patriarchy.
Right.
And if you speak out about them, like, oh yeah, how dare you? This is so misogynistic. And it's like,
Right. Right.
okay, this
Yeah,
is
they're
not.
gonna say, "Oh, you suffer from internalized misogyny
Uh huh.
because you're critiquing insert ridiculous thing here."
Yeah. And the wild thing is that, oh yeah, it really is life sucks for real. But the thing is, I mean, I have a lot of women in my life that wear makeup. I know so many normie women, right?
Yep.
Just because I critique makeup as a concept and a thing that exists in our society doesn't mean I go around to women wearing
Right.
it and
Yeah.
like hate
No.
them and am misogynistic toward them. Like, no.
No. Um, my sister, who is my number one person on earth, my freaking soulmate, um, she's a professional makeup artist. That's her career.
Right. And I'm sure
Like,
every gathering with her does not descend into you preaching to her about
right. I'm
how
not like on her business Instagram account when she posts at some
Yeah.
woman's wedding being like,
you're a tool of the
actually,
patriarchy.
not only are you making up this woman to sell herself to a man, like, you know,
Can you imagine?
like I can have ideas and also be a normal functioning member of society. Like,
Right. I
Yes.
think a lot of people don't think that though. They don't think that
right.
way.
Right. They think we're, yeah, like these fanged creatures just being miserable and evil all over the place. And it's like,
Yeah. It's like,
no,
nope, we're pretty normal everyday people.
yeah. Like
Oh,
if the opportunity arises for me to like gently nudge an idea in there, maybe I
right.
will. But I'm
Right.
not like walking up to my coworker being like, that lipstick is not red like the blood of your enemies. Like, God, everyone chill the fuck out.
Right. Like it has to be organic. It has to come up in organic conversation. I've done that before. Usually, I mean,
Yeah.
women, most normie women are totally down for having those kind of conversations. Now, will they give up their makeup? Most likely not, but it's not like they sit there and are like, how dare you?
Hmm.
No, most of them agree. It's expensive. They feel pressured to do it. Like,
Hmm.
but whatever.
Yeah. And I always say like also you can't be what you can't see.
Yeah.
So representation matters. But like I think I do more by just existing in the world in
Yeah.
public spaces as a woman who doesn't perform femininity and just exists as I am naturally. I
Right.
do more by doing that than like going up to women and being like
Oh yeah.
your eyeliner like
Yeah. Yeah, like almost all the time, anything I say that's ideological, I've been asked my
yes,
opinion.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Or I've been
Or us
asked
going into a room
questions.
and going on a
Yeah, no. No, they'll ask questions about stuff that I do or
Hmm.
whatever, and then we'll have a conversation about it.
Hmm.
Yes. So sometimes I am asked, and most of the time I'm pretty good, but then sometimes I think I'm accidentally a little too intense for my response. But again, I don't think it's too intense. Like I told you to it was last week, I think. Yeah, I was out at the bar with some people from work, and then two of the women I work with, they're like, I don't know, 24, 25 years old. They're talking about all of their excursions, how they out on tour, since I tour for a living. They'll
Yeah.
go out to bars where all these businessmen hang out. They'll intentionally flirt with them with the goal of getting invited back to their hotel room or whatever, and then they ditch them. So, and they were talking about how they do this routinely in all these cities we're going to, and then they turn around and say, "Well, like, what do you think about this?"
Oh.
And I said,
What do you think?
"Well,"
Expired milk?
and I just did my basic. I said, "Well, I think men are dangerous, and that what you are doing is therefore also dangerous."
How could you?
But it's because I said men are dangerous,
Hmm.
everyone started to freak out, except for the men that were there, who I also work
Yeah.
with. The men that were there didn't say nothing for this whole 20-minute conversation about not all men and blah, blah, blah. Then I
Right.
just said, look, I'll let the statistics speak for themselves. And the only man who spoke up said, well, women are bad too. You know, my mom yells at me all the time to get off the computer.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
And
What
I
is
said,
what is this? Is this
I,
AOL
I
dial-up era? What?
yes, I
This
turn around
dude's
and tell
mom,
him, I say, I
Mhm.
am literally talking about murder here.
right? Like
Right.
this dude's mom or Joseph Mengele, who's worse?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh
It's so dumb how
God.
they try to equate it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Well,
it's
it's
like,
like, how
no,
Also,
come? Go ahead, expired milk.
yeah. I say, it's like, no, I won't. It's like, if you ask me, if you tell me this crazy story and you ask me, I'm not going to pretend. I'm
no.
not going to water it down for you. I'll just be like, hey, this is what it is.
Right.
Don't do that. I know you're like 24 and you probably think it's cool, but you could really get hurt doing all that
I
stuff. So,
think it's really stupid
yeah.
because I don't, you know, trusting men at the best of times is risky. But when you're talking about like richer, I mean, have you heard about like the parties that really
Oh
rich men
yeah.
have and stuff, and how they treat the women they invite back to their
Hmm.
place?
Mhm.
And what if they see you in the bar again and you stood them up? Like,
Yeah. It's a small world.
It
right,
always gets me too that like everybody knows a woman who has been harassed or beaten or assaulted or murdered, but nobody seems to know a man who has ever been an abuser or,
right,
like,
yeah, because men obviously do not act around their buddies the same way they act around the women that they target. Obviously.
yes.
Mhm.
I mean, I had to tell my own kid that.
Sorry, say that again.
I said I had to tell my own kid that. There was actually uh, a teachable lesson that happened in high school.
Go on.
Yeah, not to be like my kid or whatever, but um, he was part of this friend group, and one of the girls in the group didn't like this other kid who joined the group. She said he was creepy. She didn't like him. She was talking to my son about this.
She
And my
was
son,
right.
right. And my son was talking to me. And this was like after school one day. And he's like, I mean, it's not like I don't believe her, but this kid just seems fine. He's just really quiet and we've never had a problem with him. And I said, I was like, don't assume that he's harmless and he's not a creep.
Right.
And I could tell my son was skeptical. Okay. And then like a week later, he comes up to me and he's like, you know what? You were right about that kid. Because what happened was the girl ended up showing other members of the friend group, including my son, like the really creepy and like uh bad text messages that this kid ended up sending her, like
Oh.
harassment and stuff like that, right? So they all ended up kicking this kid out of the group, thankfully. But I basically impressed upon him. I'm like, don't use your experience with other guys to inform your judgment of them. If a woman
Mm-hmm.
you know tells you that somebody's sketchy or behaves badly or is abusive, just because you know the guy as a cool dude doesn't mean shit.
Of course.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. And
Yep.
even just over my life at work, 'cause I worked at nightclubs for a while, the music venues I've worked on for, it has happened probably at least a dozen times at this point where I'll be in the entrance. Some disgruntled boyfriend, ex, somebody comes up and he's like, where's Samantha? Is she here? And I say, I don't know a Samantha. Goodbye. And or like we'll be
Goodbye.
on tour and getting to certain regions. Actually, it's the case with the tour I'm on right now. There's a artist and she's got this ex who's obsessed with her and will come out to airports, to hotels to try and find her and try to
Oh my
win her
god.
back or
Yeah.
whatever.
That's
And he showed it
scary.
before. So I always have to give it to all the venue security. I'm like, yo, you see this guy? Don't let him in. You turn him
Yeah.
away, you call the cops, you do whatever you gotta do. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's been
That
trailing
is
her for like almost
crazy.
3 years at this point.
Yeah, these guys are tenacious. They do not give up. My mom was harassed by a guy from her job for like 10 years. I'm not even shitting you.
Oh my
It
god.
wasn't 10 continuous years, but he
Mm-hmm.
would pop up every now and then and like increase the intensity, and then he would back off, and then he would always come back, right? And he
Yeah.
only stopped because he moved. She heard that he moved to like Florida or something.
Ugh. I know somebody who she went on like a Tinder date with this guy. And the date was fine. Like they just went out for dinner and then they went for a walk in a park that was like across from the restaurant. And they were sitting on a bench in the park, and the guy asked if he could kiss her. And so she said yes. And as they were kissing, he brought his hand up to her throat
Oh my god.
Mm.
and
Fucking
started,
animals.
yeah. And like she freaked out and was like, absolutely fuck no. And after that, he never, like, he started like pretty much stalking her because she like blocked him immediately on like social media and on Tinder and whatever. But he knew where she worked. She worked at a store in the mall. And
Oh,
so he would like go into the store, and often on like slow days, she was the manager. And so like on slow days, she would like send the other staff home and she would just be in there alone. And like, thank God it was like in a mall where there's like lots of people around. It's not like a standalone store.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, he would like come in the store, and then eventually she was like, "You need to fucking not do this anymore." And so instead, he would just walk back and forth across the,
Yeah.
in the mall.
Yeah.
And then she ended up moving away, so that helped. But I guess a couple months or maybe a year ago, um, he found her like her new social media, which is creepy as fuck, and sent
Ugh.
her a message like apologizing for all of that and how he had recently found God and thought that
Oh,
he owed her an
they
apology.
always find God.
Ugh,
Yeah.
fucking insane shit.
I hope she didn't
Insane.
respond because he's probably just looking for a response.
Yeah, no, she did not.
Good.
Yes.
I know they're talking about bi women who claim that they're lesbians in chat. And
Oh, I haven't even been
pet,
looking.
that is such a pet peeve of mine.
Mm.
It was down
Yeah.
where Life Sucks said, I saw a woman who identifies as lesbian say she messes around with men when she's bored or horny, but
Oh,
she's
yeah.
romantically attracted to
Oh
women. So she's still a lesbian.
Yeah. I've heard that before.
It's
I
so
have heard that
stupid.
before. Like, what are you supposed to do when you're horny? I don't know. Like,
If
get a fucking rose toy.
get
Like,
yeah, get a vibrator. What's wrong with you? Like what?
link in my description box for a discount
Okay.
code to an adult website.
no.
Yeah. Use it.
um, yeah. Well, God, I know all too well the whole. I'm a lesbian, but actually, I am not anymore, and I decide I'm gonna have sex with men now.
Yeah.
Like if
Or
if
it's always
you
the, oh yeah, I know I'm a lesbian, but I don't know. I was just walking down the street and Comp Pet it took over, and then I was in bed with a man. I'm like, oh.
no, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
If you like dick in any capacity, you are not a lesbian. If the
Yeah.
thought of laying with a man doesn't make you want to barf, you're probably bisexual.
Yes. It's
Right.
like
And there's
if you
nothing wrong
find
with
it
it.
difficult to not have sex with men, maybe you're not a lesbian.
Yeah, in
Right.
fact, there's like straight up totally het women who don't seem to have such a problem staying away from dick as some of
Yeah.
these supposed lesbian women. So like you girl, you got a problem, okay? You got an obsession with the
So
peeing.
weird. I do not understand.
You
Like,
Yeah.
gotta
and
read a self-help book.
Yeah, you got to get your mind right and get it off the cock, okay?
yeah. Well, like Capricorn said, like honesty is so important, but also like I think it is so admirable for a woman to be like, yo, I am bi, but like absolutely I don't want anything to do with men. Like I think that is like badass. Like good
Yeah,
for
but
those women, but they never do that. They're just like, no, I'm a
no.
lesbian. It's like, no, you're not.
You're like literally you're not a lesbian because that is excluding men altogether. Anything male is not in consideration for the bedroom. That's what lesbian means. And those bi women would never become fem. Never. Lee,
Lee.
put the cock down and just walk away.
I feel like I heard this week, is JoJo Siwa with the guy now? Did I hear that?
No, she's
No.
not. But
Okay.
she's currently on Celebrity Big Brother in the UK. Um, and one of the other contestants is a male TV presenter. I don't know who he is. He's a UK celebrity. And they have formed a really close bond and friendship in the house, but it's not like romantic. And also, she has a girlfriend.
Is
Um,
JoJo a lesbian?
Jojo Siwa. Yeah, she came out a few years ago.
Oh, okay. I don't know much about JoJo Siwa.
Okay, but what you may have heard is that in some of these talks with this new friend she's made, she has alluded to perhaps having a gender identity of some kind.
Of course.
And that she's not ready to talk about it in public yet, but so
And here on national
NB coming
TV.
out is imminent.
Imminent. No.
Well, maybe she's got a new album coming out. She's gotta push the sales.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, that could be.
Yeah, so that'll happen soon, I'm sure.
Nena, is she kissing and canoodling?
Wait, what? I haven't seen any of this.
Oh yeah, I think that's what I saw. It was like some picture they were like in bed and he was like stroking her back or whatever, and I was like, oh. Okay.
It's rather
Keep scrolling.
intimate.
Yeah, I have seen like I have seen her, his name is Chris, that they've I'm just Googling. I have
Oh, her
seen that
girlfriend's
they've
already non-binary. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. new non-binary gonna drop soon.
But wait a second. So Chris Hughes has been branded creepy after his latest comments to housemate Jojo Siwa. Fans are confused. I'm trying to look for what exactly happened. Oh, okay, wait a second. The close dynamic took an uncomfortable turn on Sunday night's episode as Chris suggested eating spaghetti like Lady and the Tramp with JoJo. JoJo was quick to shut him down as she responded, "No, but we can have some together."
I'm sorry. That is such like a desperate dude thing to suggest. Like, imagine anyone suggesting that to you.
Weird. So it said the 32-year-old, the man, Chris, went on to apply some lip balm on his lips before leaning in to also apply some to JoJo's while her eyes were closed. "It's my finger, don't worry," he said. "Would I ever?" she said. The star, Chris, added, "Probably would, actually, yeah."
He's 32.
Wait.
Oh no.
Did he kiss chapstick onto her?
No, he put it on his finger and then rubbed it on her lips.
Okay. But he definitely implied he would.
Yeah, and she's like what, like 20 or 21, and he's 32 or something.
Yeah, that's just dudes being dudes.
Ugh.
Oh yes, I've heard. Oh, maybe it's because it was posted on Discord somewhere. The Chapo Rome drama or whatever.
Mm. But also in the Big Brother house, what's his face? An actor, big name actor. What the hell is his name? Not Mickey. Maybe it is Mickey Rourke. I think it is.
Oh yeah, I saw some headline about Mickey Rourke, but I don't know what it was.
Yeah, so he was also in the Big Brother house, and he was making seriously fucked up homophobic and like corrective rape comments to JoJo about her
Jesus.
being a lesbian.
The fuck?
Yeah, like really, really,
What is going on this TV show?
like saying like she's not going to be a lesbian much longer in this house with him, stuff
Ew.
like that. And actually, Big Brother removed him from the house, and we're like, no, fuck this.
Good.
Yeah, so gross, hey?
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, life sucks. Being bi really isn't cool anymore. You know.
Like it was, but like, well, whatever. I don't know. I was
I
gonna say,
mean,
was it really cool? Because
no, it was a lot of straight girls just saying that
right,
they like to kiss girls at the bar or whatever when they're drunk. So
yeah,
I remember it was all in the same year when I was in high school, so somewhere between 2008 and 2012. Every single person who watched Glee decided they were bisexual in
yeah,
like
of course.
the same semester. I said, "Really? All of you?" I mean, statistically that seems unlikely, but okay.
yeah, it's pretty unlikely.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Good times. Hmm. What's up with the rest of the week?
You go first, Expired Milk. You have a more exciting life than I do.
Yeah.
Well, you always say it's exciting, but just more shows, more places.
Shows are
Oh,
Which is
exciting.
exciting. You travel around
I mean,
for
I
a
could tell
living.
the story of my interaction with border police.
Ooh. Oh yeah. The
Yeah.
freaking waking up to a flashlight in your face.
Yeah,
Oh
that was
yeah.
crazy. Okay, so hello, stream. I have been touring for approximately the past 10 years of my life. I have spent a lot of that tour time in Texas because Texas is a big state and there's a lot of people to perform for in Texas. So I have been on tour buses all over Texas many, many, many times.
Mm-hmm.
But this time going through Texas, I'm on the bus, asleep, as one is,
In your bunk.
in
Mhm.
my bunk. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I wake to a flashlight in my face and a border security guy asking me if I am a U.S. citizen,
Whoa.
Oh my
my
god.
name, what the show is, and I'm like, whoa. Keep in mind, we are not at the border. We are somewhere in the middle of Texas. We are 2 hours from the border. And yeah, he starts waking up the entire bus. It seems like I had asked the bus driver about it after the fact. He's like, "Yeah, we were just driving and the sirens came on. We got pulled over, then they just came on the bus." I'm like, "Are they
Oh my
allowed to do that?" I have no idea. Um, so that happened. Like I had to take out my passport and everything. Remember, we are firmly in the United States. I only had my passport on me because later in the tour we're going to Canada. So it's like I was just so baffled. It's never happened before. So I can only attribute it to the current times.
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
That's scary.
Hmm. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. Cause I was like, yo. Yeah, because usually when we cross a border, I have all this paperwork I present and I've got my whole spiel. But again, if you wake me up at 2 a.m. and I'm not thinking about it, no, I'm not gonna remember the venue we just played. I'm not gonna remember where we're going. How
Yeah,
many
how could you
people on
possibly keep all
the
that
bus,
straight?
like all this stuff. So yeah.
Wow. That is really crazy. That
Yeah, and
is
then
really
someone
crazy.
told me, oh yeah, they're allowed to do that within 100 miles of any border. And again, I've done plenty of touring 100 miles from all 4 borders of the country, and that has never happened to me.
is so crazy.
USA, USA.
What state are you currently in?
Kansas.
Kansas.
Yeah. And when I leave Kansas, I can say I'm not in Kansas
Not in
anymore.
Kansas
Yeah.
anymore. That's funny.
Yep.
But yes, this week, more shows, more traveling around. I took the tour team bowling since they've been behaving themselves recently. Beginning of tour, they were not behaving themselves. Then I
Are
said,
they?
you
I
know what?
mean, the most of the time they don't behave themselves. At least the stories you tell.
Yeah. Well, they were not behaving themselves in more than usual, and not even in interesting ways, just in dumb ways. I've already had to fire 2 people. Uh, I'm probably going to fire someone this week. Like 2 people have already quit because they're just tired of dealing with the people that are causing all the issues.
Oh man.
That is crazy.
But hey, at least there's new Star Wars.
Yeah.
And, you know, hopefully by the time the tour goes to Canada, they'll let us in and not block us because of, I don't know, some weird, you're going to tariff us? Well, we're not going to let your shows come in. We're just going to have Drake and Justin Bieber.
Oh no.
We don't want them either.
We're going to send them back. We're going to deport them.
Well, I suppose that's fair for reporting other people.
Oh yeah, and then I should mention that after the border guy bothered everyone, and then he believed what show we were and all that stuff, he just kind of laughed and walked away. I said, "Of course, this was funny to you, right?" So,
Oh my goodness.
Whoa, Nana, really? You and Chapel Roan come from the same small town?
are you a Midwest princess?
Yeah.
She is. Man, I have literally nothing exciting going on.
Hey, me either. We can be boring together.
Yep, just working and dog sitting. Yeah, I'm dog sitting now until May 22nd.
That's a long gig.
Yeah, I started on the 16th.
Damn.
Literally nothing exciting is happening at all. I have no plans at all coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So just work.
Same. Pretty sure my weekend's wide open this week,
Yep, I
but
have nothing going on.
I might have to double check that. We just had Easter,
Mm-hmm.
so
Did the Easter Bunny leave you some chocolate?
no.
Oh,
No. It's okay though.
I went to
But
my
I did,
parents for Easter dinner, and the Easter
yeah.
Bunny did indeed leave me some chocolate there.
Yeah, I had ham.
Yeah, we had ham too.
Yeah.
That's
was
an
good.
Easter dinner.
Yeah.
I missed Easter dinner, but I did throw an impromptu Easter egg hunt at
Oh
our
yeah,
the
at the
venue we were
venue.
in the day before Easter. And see, I was dedicated. I woke up with a mission. I walked into this venue 5:30 in the morning with my basket of eggs. I had
Like chocolate
72
eggs.
eggs. They were plastic eggs with candy inside, and they
Oh,
were
good.
they were Star Wars themed, so they had like Baby Yoda and stuff on them. Like when I tell you I was in the rafters of this theater, I
Oh
really
my
was.
god.
I was on the catwalk. I was
Oh
in
my
the
god.
I was in the boiler room.
And did all the eggs get found?
They did not all get
Oh,
found. In
did you
fact,
have to go
our
and collect them?
no, because the venue realized we were doing it too, and they're like, if they don't find any, don't get them because we
Oh,
would
we'll
like to
find them.
find them. Yeah, we want to find them.
That's really
And
cute.
so I asked our more adventurous person, I was like, hey, I just took a stroll around the venue and it looks like you missed an entire room. He was like, what? No, I was so thorough. And then yesterday I told him, yeah, this is the room you missed. He's like, no, I was there. I looked everywhere and I couldn't find them. I said, I guess you didn't look hard enough.
That's funny.
And it was nice because the last time I had an Easter egg hunt was many, many years ago when I was maybe 9. And it was at church, and it was like after the service, all the kids were supposed to go out and find these Easter eggs. Turns out during the service, all the older neighborhood kids had come around, found all the eggs,
Oh,
taken the candy, and then put the empty eggs back.
Oh my god, that's diabolical.
no.
Yes.
What the heck?
I just remember finding my, like, I think I got maybe 4 eggs, and they were all empty. I was
Oh,
distraught.
no, they were full of sadness.
Yes. But now I have reclaimed the egg hunt.
The traumatic core memory.
Yes.
The same town lesbians.
Oh yeah, one of these.
Yeah, Nana is moving to where Rusty lives.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, petition for me to move there too, but I cannot. I would die in Australia. But yeah, we would become the same town lesbian association.
But Imla just rolls off the tongue, whereas
I know.
Sla.
Sla.
Blah.
Oh, let's see
Nicole
here.
Sla.
Topic idea. Not sure if you've covered this already, but discussion about pseudo-feminist channels.
Ooh.
Yeah,
In what way?
Yeah, I am not okay. I am not really one to talk about other creators or other people. I get what you're getting at, but I'm
Yeah, that could be a hornet's nest.
yeah, and I'm just not interested really in talking about other people and their content. Yeah, also like who. But what would it serve for me to talk about other creators?
Yeah. Like I can
It,
see talking about pseudo-feminism as like a concept
yep.
and like examples that we all know of pretty much, but
Mhm.
to single out like specific people.
Yeah, just doesn't seem. Yeah, thanks, Gabriel. Thanks. It just doesn't seem like my jam. I have talked about other creators in like a here's who I am watching sense, but I just don't feel like I need to criticize any
Yeah.
creators.
And it's
Okay.
different if it's like an article, you know?
Right. Yeah. When I'm freaking looking at the freaking wank basement article and laughing at those people, that's like totally different than
Yeah.
someone directly on YouTube.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's just not really who I am. Like I remember one time I posted on my community tab about like just what I am putting forward for my friendships in 2025 and what I give out and what I would like to receive back. And I'm not going to prioritize friendships that don't give me back what I'm giving kind of thing. And actually, Lee commented and asked like, "Oh, is this about um, somebody that we're all thinking of?" And I was like, "No, it's not." And also, I would never be so crass so as to like vague post about a
Right.
fellow creator on my YouTube channel. I would never do that. And also, I am not afraid to say what's on my mind. So if I had something to say about anything or anyone, I would say it. Um, but yeah, I'm not going to talk about other creators on my channel. There's no reason for me to do so. Um, my favorite comedian, Kathy Griffin, says, "I was raised right. I talk about people behind their backs."
Yes. Or over coffee with certain other people.
Right.
The nosy
Exactly.
gossip crew
Yeah.
represent.
Yeah, I love to be nosy, but yeah.
Me too.
No, oh my God, Lee, no. I'm not sorry. Don't be sorry at all. It was a valid question. But No, it was not. It was about nobody that anyone in this community knows.
Yep. Someone from Meat Space.
Yeah, meat space. Yeah, I had a situation in which I was reflecting on a ended friendship, and in that reflecting I realized actually this person never really put in even half of the amount of effort or energy as I did. And I'm not one of those people who's like, oh my God, I need you to respond to me at all hours of the day and night. Like,
Yeah.
but like, if I'm having to ask you to like text me back once in a month, like,
Right.
you know, like, so yeah, anyway, I was just
Yep.
reflecting on a friendship, but it was not with anyone on the YouTube community.
I have been there. And when I stopped reaching out to the woman I'm thinking of, we never spoke again.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's how it
Yep.
was. That was exactly how it was with this friend of mine. If I stopped the communication, she would never start it.
Right.
And people have their own lives, and that's fine. But
Yep.
like, are you not in? Like, obviously, you're not interested in me or my life or maintaining this friendship. So I'm not interested anymore either because I want to be friends with people who meet MEAT
Yeah.
space like in real life.
Yes. Meat referring to our physical bodies and not.
Yes.
It's an older term.
Nana fired someone for embezzlement. Yo,
Whoa.
action packed.
Whoa. Oh, speaking of incompetence, I I told you Expired Milk and Existential Gamer in our group chat today, but I had the most insane experience over emails with a colleague today. I have to find it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, okay. So I got a phone call at work today from a person near who we share a mutual client. And the person was like, "Hi, I'm so and so's contact person. I just want to see what's up with his file." And I said to her, "Well, I left voicemails on April 10th and April 17th asking for him to call me." And she said, "Oh, I don't listen to my voicemails."
Wow. Imagine
Well,
admitting you don't listen to your voicemails at work.
at work, like if people want
Right.
their own phone, whatever, but like she was like, "Oh, I don't listen to my voicemails." Well, then I guess you're not going to know what's up with your client's file, are you?
Right.
Like,
Right.
oh my God.
The incompetence.
Yeah.
And just being so proud about it, being like, yeah, I don't actually work here, you know?
Like,
You know, I feel like if I had to fire an incompetent subordinate for embezzlement, I'd be more
yeah.
upset that they were incompetent and still managed to steal money. And I'd be like, damn it.
Well, see, now I'm
Mm.
just thinking about earlier today, I finally watched that. It came out a while ago now. The Accountant, just because The Accountant 2 is about to come out. And when the first movie came out, I just thought, oh, it's called The Accountant and it's about this killer accountant. That sounds stupid. I'm not going to watch it. But then when I saw the trailer for Accountant 2, I said, actually, this is kind of awesome. I'm going to watch The Accountant 1 now. And that's exactly what it was. It was like the dude, he's looking at the books, he's solving the math, and he's like, oh my God, 61 million has gone. I'm gonna go murder everybody. It was hilarious.
What the
But
fuck?
now I'm
Oh.
imagining she's like, ah, I've gone through the books. I have caught the culprit. I'm gonna go in on a zip line and beat up this.
I haven't even heard of that show
But
Yeah.
it's a
or
movie.
movie.
It
Okay.
has that one guy in it who's famous and the Punisher.
Tom Hardy.
No,
Oh, well, I
I
don't know
forget
then.
his name. But the second one is coming out this Friday, only in theaters. So yeah, I'm like I like action movies and sci-fi and stuff like that. So even if it's a little dumb, I'll probably still have a good time at the theater.
Oh, yeah.
A good explosion will always entertain me.
I mean, not everything has to be a thinker, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Some things can just
Sometimes,
be entertainment.
yeah, it's a popcorn flick for a reason.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I stumble upon like a very deep, complicated sci-fi thing, I said, "Oh, I need to listen to a podcast for this. This plot's a bit too complicated for me. Let's have someone talk about it in depth for 3 hours after the fact." Like a Foundation. That's a very dense show.
I gotta watch more prestige television, clearly.
Yeah, that's what they call it, prestige TV.
Prestige television.
Yeah, I think Andor, because it's so wordy, is also in the prestige TV department. I said, "Oh wow, look at Star Wars getting some prestige TV."
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, the only prestige TV I think I watched is Mad Men. I'm obsessed with Mad Men. I've watched it like 7 or 8 times.
I keep meaning to finish it. I started a rewatch late last year, and I did get a good few seasons in, but I think I still have 2 seasons left.
Oh, I think it's a perfect show. I'm obsessed.
But at this time, I've forgotten where I left off.
It's so good.
Just
So good.
watch it from the beginning. Refresh your memory.
Yes, do it all again.
Mm,
Yeah.
Whenever
yeah.
I watch a drama, I just yell at the TV. I'm like, "No, why would you do that? No."
My other, I don't know if it's prestige television, but I'm also obsessed with Downton Abbey.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
that was a good one. I never watched it till the end, but I love that vibe. Just
Yeah,
it's a big house in England and shenanigans
and
ensue.
shenanigans ensue. It's like
I
my
really
comfort
should
show.
watch it.
Oh, it's so good. It's really
Yeah.
good. And Maggie Smith is just perfection.
Mhm. Yeah, in fact, I started a movie where the cover, so the thumbnail for the movie, it looked like it would be a, oh, big house in England, shenanigans ensue, but it ended up being this tragic World War II drama that just
Oh,
ends in a super depressing fashion. I said, this is not what I signed up for. We
what was
No.
opened
it?
this movie, it was Atonement. It's a
Oh yeah.
it's a film with a homegirl from the pirate movie.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
Yeah.
What's her name? Uh
uh,
huh.
yeah, her. And I was like, oh,
I
here she is, another big house in England, gonna serve with all the looks and the dresses and the walking through the gardens. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we've left the garden. World War II has started. People are dying. The bad guy's getting away with his crimes. And I
Great.
was like, what was the moral of the story? I don't know why we were here. I'm left feeling not good.
Enlightened female dropping Jenny Nicholson's like hours long video essays about media.
Ah,
Listen,
yes. Those are
listen.
always fun. And see, even when
She
it's something I don't care about, I think, oh, I'll just watch the first 20 minutes. Now 2 hours have gone by.
yes. I have to shout out one of my favorite videos of all time is by Jenny Nicholson, and it's her review of The Christmas Prince. And I've never seen that movie, okay, but you don't have to see it because she breaks it down and it's so funny. And I just thought it was like one of the funniest things I've seen. And I love it even to this day. Sometimes I'll watch it like once in a while and I'll just revisit The Christmas Prince. It's just as bad as it sounds.
That's funny. I've never heard of her.
Yeah, she does like media. I mean, some of her videos are like 4 hours long.
Her
But the
last
Christmas
video was 11 months ago.
Yeah, she doesn't post very often. The Christmas Prince is not 4 hours long. I just want to let everybody know that. It's
Yeah.
a normal video, but really funny. If you're looking for a very funny takedown of like a really shitty Hallmark movie, then that is your video.
That's so good. A
Yeah.
grim dystopia of a Christmas prince.
So good.
Good. Ah, sorry. That's my take your meds alarm.
Oh, well, we are coming up on 2 hours.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah. Wow. Time
Star
flies.
Wars is out,
Oh,
so
we better let expired milk
Yeah.
go.
yeah,
She's not even
everyone,
jumping.
please
Are
go
you in a
watch
hotel
Andor.
today?
I am. Yeah.
Oh.
We
On the
had a
move
little bit of
tonight
a
or tomorrow?
For tonight, and then we continue on our way.
What time is your bus call?
Well, it's actually tomorrow night at.
Oh, so you get the whole night in the
Yeah,
hotel.
I get like a little bit of a little Easter break situation happening right now.
Nice. Luxuriate in the bed.
Yeah, but it'll be an 11 p.m. bus call. So not like last time at 2 a.m., but so I can't procrastinate. I gotta be ready to go.
Gotta be ready to go. Okay, well, we'll let you go enjoy your Star Wars.
And you should go
And
watch season 1. You can catch up.
okay, I'll do my best. I don't make any promises.
Or
Though.
maybe watch Rogue One again just to refresh your
Oh,
memory.
that movie
Yeah.
was so good.
Right, and then you can it'd be fresh. You can start Andor, and it'll all flow together.
Yeah, I think I accidentally spoiled it for my mom because she had seen Rogue One and she was saying, "Oh yeah, Andor, the main guy, he's really cute. Can't wait to see what happens to him this season." And I said, "Well, you've seen Rogue One, right? You know what happened." She's like, "Oh, is that the same guy?"
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, welcome to the
Yeah.
Star Wars that you are watching. It is in fact the same guy.
Yeah, his conclusion is a foregone one. So,
Yes.
Nice.
spoiler alert.
All right. Well, yes, thank you to the chat for being
Yeah.
awesome. We love having you all. Probably stream again on Friday or Saturday. That seems to be typical. I don't promise, but probably.
Yeah.
In the description box, there will be a link to Existential Gamers channel, Expired Milk's channel, and Expired Milk's Substack.
It's a really good Substack. She's
Yes,
a good
it is.
writer.
Very good writer.
Oh, you say so much.
So, yes, so you can subscribe to the gals, and we'll see you when we see you. And thank you, everyone, and see you maybe later this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
May the force be with you.
Oh, perfect. Bye.
Yeah.